name is Margo Saulnier, and I'm the creative strategist for the city of New Bedford, and I manage New Bedford Creative. And I want to welcome you to our new show on cable access called New Bedford Creative, where we go behind the scenes and interview artists. And those are the people who make New Bedford creative. We're a creative city, and we want to get a glimpse into their lives and their process and their artwork. And on our first show, we are excited to introduce you to the team Superflat New Bedford. Join us as we take a look into the artists' work and their process in making these beautiful murals that we see throughout the city.
We are here in Wings Court in downtown New Bedford, standing in front of the Say Adams Love Mural. If anybody out there doesn't know who Say Adams is, I can refresh your memory. Do you remember that logo of Run DMC? Run on top, DMC on the bottom. Say Adams created that. He's been the graphic designer for Def Jam since its inception. And he's an iconic graphic designer, also graffiti artist in the New York and worldwide scene. He's put these love murals all over the U.S., and we are lucky enough to have one here in New Bedford.
It's my pleasure to introduce to you today the brilliant artist behind the Jazz Wall mural, Kat Knutson, here at the Fiber Optic Center. Well, thank you so much, Kat, for being here today and joining us. I would love for you to give our audience a little bit of background about your painting background specifically and what led you to creating this beautiful mural for the city of New Bedford.
Thank you, Margo. So I have an MFA in painting. I have a love for painting figurative art and portraits. And I was approached by the Superflat organization about a mural that they wanted to have go up on the fiber optics building that involved painting the portraits of several jazz musicians who were from the New Bedford area who performed on an international level. And they wanted to create a design that was going to commemorate their memory.
Which is amazing because what you've done here is so dynamic. So what was your thinking once you were given all of the jazz musicians that you were to be featured? How did you come up with the concept that is on the wall today?
Initially, there was an idea to create kind of a grid of portraits that just referenced the face, the name, and the year they were born and died. And then as I got to know more about who these people were and, what they contributed to the community and, ranging from being professors, performers, just how much life they brought to this area, I was inspired to try to create a candid moment that portrayed a slice of time, that expressed and illustrated that type of energy they brought in. So I ended up taking a lot of the reference images and creating a moment where they're all performing together, which I thought was really exciting because a lot of these guys didn't necessarily have their professional timelines overlap with one another in the same way. So to create a moment that didn't actually exist but make it feel like it was actually occurring was a lot of fun, and that was the challenge that I wanted to try to work towards.
What does it take to go from your design on paper to putting the mural up onto this huge wall?
Once the design was finished, to applying the design to the wall took about 2.5 weeks. The process involved projecting the image onto the wall, and then after the image was projected, using the boom lift, trying to fill in as many of the large shapes as possible to cover a large mass of the design, and then finishing off the smaller shapes, and then also trying to work from the top down. And another reason why it was done in such a short amount of time is because we were given actually a 2-week allowance of access to the lift, and so it was trying to find a way to get as much of the design completed in that time budget.
I just noticed as I was coming up here looking up some of the details, like the buttons. I don't know if this was intentional, but emojis, like smiley faces. Yeah. I love that.
Yes. And there are actually a lot of smiley faces hidden in the design. And so it's kind of a little game that I'm giving the audience to play with because, as they're, in the space, for any sort of an event, if they're looking up at it, they might, find one of them or a couple of them.
Hi, I'm Neil Weiss, co-owner of the building at 23 Center Street behind the Whaling Museum. And came up with the idea about a year ago to put up a mural of jazz musicians on the wall that faces AHA Nights. We do jazz here on AHA Nights for over 20 years. A committee put together a group of names, and we selected down because we couldn't include everyone, and we came up with a list of musicians to feature who have passed away. These are not living musicians. New Bedford has had a great influence on the jazz world and was a great stop during certainly the big band era. Duke Ellington spent a lot of time here, and others. And this is a tribute to some of the people who have influenced younger musicians and established New Bedford as a hotbed for jazz.
Now we're going to catch up with Eden Soares. We met him at his studio as he's working on a mural for the Cape Verdean Cultural Center up in the North End. Let's take a look.
I was introduced to graffiti by my cousin Danny, and when he introduced me to that, it was mind-blowing because it was a whole nother element, something I'd never seen before, and it had to do with characters and letters. So I put myself up to the challenge like I do with most of my new projects, and I fell in love with it. And since then, I went on to explore my creative side by doing more than just graffiti. I've stepped into the world of graphic design, and I fell in love with it, and I've been freelancing since about 13 years old. So I don't want to give my age away, but I've been freelancing for a long time, 30 plus years. So I came up with the concept of the postcard of the greetings from New Bedford look. And when the installation, or should I say the art project, was to start off, I kind of had an accident which kind of left me unable to do my painting when it started up. So for the first time in my life, God bless Greg, he told me, he insisted, do you want me to, do the sketch for you? And no one has ever worked on my projects. No one's ever tackled any of them. I've handled them on my own all these years. So to me, I had to just say yes and just be grateful that someone is willing to help. So I took his help and his advice, and he was willing to assist me in creating my concept and putting it on this wall.
So in the summer of 2020, I was asked by Superflat to return to New Bedford to lead a project entitled Postcards to New Bedford. It was a group project, and the largest group project that I've managed at this point in time. So myself, in collaboration with 4 other artists, designed postcards to New Bedford that dictate either a part of social history or elements of the city that are personal to us, but also may resonate with other people in the community. It ties into my attention to social histories and the importance of telling these stories in the environment that they come from in order to continue that discussion and dialogue about what has brought us to where we are, and hopefully through that to move beyond it or use these histories as a catalyst for positive change or creative growth.
I recently finished a small mural for the Pacheco School. I did the entrance to their main entrance of their school, and it was just a welcome with the globe, and I enjoyed that project because I know, it's kind of like giving back to the community and the kids involved. It was just a great project, so shout out to Jen for that. This project for the Cape Verdean organization in North End, this project I started on last year, and I would have been finished with it in February, but due to COVID, this was set back because of shutdown. So now that everything is the new norm, I'm back here working on this last panel for the 20 panel project. Now this is going to be a 16 feet in height by 40 feet wide mural when it's all assembled, all 20 pieces, 8 by 4 each, into one image, and then it will be complete. in the middle of the whole mural is Cesaria Evora. God rest her soul. She was she's a Grammy Award winner of Moderna. And you have kind of like a balance of colors on each side. And you have a scene going on where I'm trying to capture the Cape Verdean culture, where there's music, there's entertainment, but there's also the work that's involved in just raising a family and just staying alive, like the bedon and the beating of the rice and the fishing of, it's just, it all ties into our culture. And when this panel is finished and assembled, I'm eager to see how it all looks as one piece, because I did try to capture the male's side, the woman's side, the music side, and just our overall culture into this one piece.
So my name's Kaylee, and I got involved with this project because I responded to Superflat's call for artists. Basically all I knew about it was that the project was called Postcards to New Bedford. We all decided to, paint our own takes on what New Bedford means to us and what we think about when we envision New Bedford. Everybody working on it, some of us are residents here, some of us have lived here at some point in our lives. Others, they're from all around, but no matter what, this city means something to all of us. I guess mine is mostly about the aspect of community in New Bedford, how, everybody is so different. It's a very diverse community. People from all walks of life come here, but when you boil it down, everybody is everybody exists peacefully, everybody supports each other, and I wouldn't have gotten a lot of the opportunities I've gotten if it wasn't for the people here. So I feel like there's just a strong sense of acceptance in New Bedford, and I decided to paint like animals of a bunch of different species and stuff, just helping each other and like having a good time. I guess the rest of the pieces are just homages to New Bedford's history. I know the Lester Lima piece is very powerful to most people who walk by here. And we've got all the nautical themes that make up New Bedford. I wasn't entirely sure if I would be able to make the commitment to work on this. However, because of COVID and the current situation, I've had a lot of free time on my hands, and it's great to be able to call this my job and to be able to work still safely, still observing social distancing rules and all that. But I'm like really grateful to be able to put myself out there during this time and have some kind of a creative outlet that, is also keeping me more financially stable at the same time.
My name is Greg Peniston. I am a visual artist, primarily a muralist and sign painter from Rhode Island. I've been painting for over 20 years in some form or another. The mural behind us is the Winds of Change mural that was done in collaboration with Superflat, New Bedford, and DATMA in the summer of 2019, I believe. This mural in particular depicts a large whaling ship in the center and is bordered by traditional stonemason designs that can be found throughout the city of New Bedford. Above it is the moon phases, which dictate the passing of time. Above that, there are some traditional tattoo designs that were common in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and then again, I think around like the 1920s, when the popularity of tattoos kind of shifted from not aristocracy, but well-to-do people to more common people in society, sailors and ship workers and things like that. So all of these elements speak to a social history or kind of an informal history of New Bedford, things that you wouldn't necessarily find in history books.
We are here on Acushnet Avenue outside Wings Court and across from Custom House Square. And I am here and so excited to introduce to you the team of Superflat New Bedford. So I'm going to have each of them introduce themselves and tell you what they do for Superflat.
Howdy ho there, neighbors. My name is Jeremiah Hernandez, and I'm a co-founding member of the Superflat team. Superflat is a public art organization, and we've been tasked to put art in places people can see in public areas. It's a lot harder to execute awesome art in awesome places and being intentional about the viewer and your community and who gets to experience the art. So slowly but surely we've produced how many?
Approximately 10 or 11.
10 or 11 murals over the last couple years. You might have seen them on this show already. You might have seen them driving out in the city. But we've collected an amazing group of artists from all over, but especially focused on artists from this area that haven't had an opportunity to paint on a large scale like this. So we've turned New Bedford into our canvas, and we're sharing what our artist community, which is so talented, we're getting an opportunity to share it with you. So please follow along as we paint the town flat.
Hi, my name's Dina Hayden, and I'm also one of the founding members of Superflat. My experience with public art was based in Philadelphia, where I had experience with the Philly Mural Art program down there. So living in Philly among many murals, thousands of murals in the city, it really influenced my life there. And so when I moved back to this area, I saw the opportunity, as well as Jeremiah was saying, to create public art and murals in New Bedford. So we all got together with a passion for creating public art and access to art for the youth of the city, most importantly, and then also to give opportunity to artists to paint public art and murals and also be paid for the work that they do.
I'm Kim Goddard, and my background's marketing. I moved to this area about 5 years ago and started to take notice of what Jeremiah and Dina and Jim were doing down here in the city, and really wanted to find a way to get involved. My background's photography as well, so there seemed to be a nice fit. So I've been working with the team for a couple of years as their program manager, and really just sort of the person behind the scenes, helping pull together all of the supplies, the materials, the schedule, and helping the support the artist, execute against their vision and make sure our partners and the clients, if you will, behind the project are on board. We're all aligned and we're good to go. And there's nothing finer than seeing it come to life and seeing the city respond so positively to what's happening.
Hello, my name is Jim McKegg. This is my son Ian. I've been with Superflat from the beginning. I was working with a group of downtown partners starting back in, I guess, 2016 or so, and there were a lot of conversations that were happening that kept kind of veering toward public art. People kept saying they wanted more of it. The space behind us here, Wings Court, was a space that was a major focus of ours, and a lot of folks said that they would love to see that as a mural gallery. I got the honor to work with these wonderful people over here who really had the abilities and the vision to create something like Superflat and to get these things out into the community. And I was lucky enough to be able to work with them.
8 years or so, we've been changing up the artwork on this 4-foot wall on Acushnet Ave, directly across from Custom House Square. And we assigned 15 different artists a letter. They had no idea what they were spelling, And now, a month later, we've taken their work and installed it on the wall. And the message says, New Bedford is lit. So we have 15 awesome artists that all contributed to this project. They all got paid to paint in their studios and participate in our Zoom calls, and have created something spectacular for this wall.
Third Eye Youth Empowerment puts on a hip-hop festival every year called Third Eye. In 2020, it's the Third Eye Open-ish because we are here during a pandemic, but the artists are still out and painting murals.
Hi, my name is Greg Pennison. I'm a visual artist, a muralist, and painter from Rhode Island, and I'm here at Third Eye Open 2020. And we are painting some letters, which is a little bit different from some of the larger mural painting that you see in the city. This being a lot freer and looser in terms of its application. It doesn't necessarily have to be readable or visually identifiable, where murals usually have some kind of central image or imagery that can be related to an existing object or place or theme or idea. This is just left completely up to the individual working on the art. Similarly, as subject matter changes, also the surface can change, the location can change. It is completely and totally free. Probably the most free form of expression that I've found.
Hi, we're here in Custom House Square, and I'm excited to introduce you to Samir Walker, who is going to tell us a little bit about what's happening here today at the Third Eye Open.
Thank you, Margo, and thank you guys for joining us. So this is the 22nd year that Third Eye has been doing the Third Eye Open. This year we're calling it the Open-ish because we are following COVID guidelines. So we brought our Doodles creative session outdoors. So we blocked off this beautiful spot here in Custom House Square, and we're doing some art and yoga today. So as you can see, we have Chloe here, and she just this is her second painting of the morning. Again, the kids love to just be creative, make a mess, and that's all Doodles is about, is letting them have the freedom to express themselves through making a mess, and we're really good at it.
Do you think we're messy?
Yes, and I love making messes with you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
everyone, we are here in the parking lot of Medium Studio, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to Junia, who's going to tell us a little bit about what's happening today.
Hello, how you doing? My name is Junia. I am a 20-year vet of Third Eye. Little quick intro about myself. I am a dancer out of the area. I've been dancing for over 20 years. I have accomplished some things big mainstream and underground as well as teaching in the city as well to the youth and empowering the youth.
Can you talk a little bit about the dancers who are participating today?
All right, today we have a few dancers in the area. It's going to be pretty cool because we go way back from the old school breakdancing to the new school of hip hop, which we have currently now. Some of the dancers that you will be seeing dancing, you may see featured on New Bedford Guide or maybe just around on the Facebook or checking it out. So we have all kinds of styles from breaking, popping, hip hop, crumping, maybe some jazz. It's all combined into this one love thing we call hip hop. It's all unity.
Hi, my name is Taylor Lamba. I'm a b-boy. I've been dancing for about 15 years. I'm from Dartmouth, Massachusetts. My first teacher was Junior. Back in 2005 when I started, it was just me and my little brothers. In Rhode Island, we have that connection between Massachusetts and Rhode Island. A lot of the dance scene out here brings people from different states to come and battle. This is a dance that started in the Bronx, in South Bronx, New York in the 1970s. As a result of economic and political neglect and abandonment, and this dance and hip hop in general was a way for people to basically rewrite the stories of their lives in a way that we could appreciate with each other and stand on what we know ourselves to be, even when the world is trying to tell a different story of us.
Thank you, Third Eye Unlimited, for that glimpse into hip-hop culture. And thank you to Superflat New Bedford for beautifying the city, one mural at a time. If you get the chance, please visit these murals in person, including the one by David Guadalupe at the Biscuit Tournament Club in the south end of New Bedford, plus the Cedric Douglas creation facing Route 18 at Ben Rose Gardens. I'm Margo Saulnier. Thanks for watching, and join us on future episodes as we showcase the many artists who make up the creative fabric of the city of New Bedford.
(150/90).
180/111.
160/110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.